have a very incredible, consistent business, always showing up. And one of the things when I asked is, why? It's all about recruiting. So that's what they're going to share on today.
Well, thank
Absolutely.
you. Yeah, crazy to be up here.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
This business. It's like James said, it's constantly challenging you, right? And just, it's better every year.
So we got started in the business in 2014. We actually, my in-laws, so Trish's parents, I've been in the business for 23 years, and we got to see them live an amazing life, live the Blue Diamond Team Elite lifestyle. And we were both doing our normal jobs. I was in finance, Trish was in commercial real estate, and we were working more than 9 to 5. And we were a newly married couple, and we weren't seeing each other that much. And so we started kind of looking for other opportunities. And we were a little bit stubborn. Again, Jim likes to say, I didn't recruit you hardcore because I knew you had to go through the meat grinder yourself of like having a job and doing all these things, and you can appreciate what these can really brought. So once we started seeing, every month the checks come into that family, and then honestly, I was like, I saw a 6-figure check come in, and I said, I need to do that because I'm working a lot harder than he is, and he's making 10 times as much money as I was. And so I knew we needed to do that and find some leverage in our life.
Yeah, can we say that word? We're friends, right? 1,000%. We knew the only way to life was leverage. I had seen my parents grinding. I had seen my dad as a serial entrepreneur. A lot of you maybe don't know this, but he and Alan McGowan actually had many business ventures together before New Spin. And watching the grind, watching what they went through, compared to the life they were then living after New Spin, it's like you can make the money, right, you guys? I know so many of you come from other careers. This is what inspires me. You meet people on these trips. We're talking about legendary people at the top of their game in all industries that decide to come to this business and this vehicle to retire and live their lives. I mean, top of real estate moguls, 15, 25 franchise owners, attorneys at the top of their game. So for us, it was like my hair was falling out, literally. I was sick. I was trying to figure out why I felt like such garbage. And watching him, doing the same, traveling 4 days a week, I would never see him. So that lifestyle was what we wanted. The freedom, which, we can now say freedom. The freedom, really, to live our lives. Where's Chase? This might be the last time you see me up here. But truly, right? For us, it's about living our life with who we want, when we want, where we want, on our terms.
And so when we started in the business, I actually started first. So for any of the husbands out there or anything, I saw the business opportunity. I started because of the scanner, and that led to, sideline but mentoring the business. Alan McGowan saying, if you want to make $1 million a year, you need to learn how to give women half-face demos. And so I said, okay. And so I took myself down to, the barrio in San Diego, and honestly just started talking. I said, I'll start here, and let's just do facials. So I learned how to do facials, and then at that point, Trish got in the business and started helping me with it. So we did the old school business. We've got doctors underneath us with the scanner. We've seen that. We've done the facial spa, the body spa. We've done all that stuff. And social media came around, and that's really when things took off for us. Was making that change when Eileen Williams called us hyperventilating.
I will never forget this phone call.
This is how you make a sale, by the way. I have the system. The social media system. You guys need to do this. She saw us struggling at doing the business the old way, as barely Ruby and falling back down to Lapis. And she gave us that opportunity. And when we found that, we started running with it.
So, but I think, so coming back to, you want to know where have we built the consistency? How have we kept that up with our team? And I think there's a few things that really play into that, and a lot of you guys will be able to relate to. we have to all sell products. We have to get really good at selling products. We have to be passionate about the products that we're selling. We need to sell them ourselves. We need to use them 1,000%. But I will say for us, from day one, and these were principles that we learned from my parents, from Alan Nagao, huge mentor to us. Alan Nagao is our sideline, for those of you that don't know. So he's a direct sponsor to my parents, so we're just sidelines. But he has been so gracious also to mentor us throughout our journey, I mean, since 2014, and I really feel like we owe everything to Alan. That comes from here, and Eileen as well. But it's, you know, it's all about recruiting. From day one, when we bring a new person in, as much as we're teaching them to sell and to fall in love and start using the products, we are really crystal clear that this business is going to be about building your army. And you have to dig in our opinion, in 48 hours with that new person. You have 48 hours, this is sexy, Alan, before they turn into a stinking fish, is what we say. A rotting fish, right? They're excited, they're new, they're fresh. They just had, you know, this exciting first poster entry into the business, whatever your model is. This is the moment that you are going to get them to give you the best contacts that they have. And it is not about just getting contacts, it's about, and Kyle, you're gonna dig into that more in a minute, but you know, getting the top of the top, not the low-lying fruit. And I think that's another area that's really key is, are we going for low-lying fruit, or are we going for the best people in their network? Are we recruiting up, or are we recruiting down? You recruit up, you build so much faster, right? You build that army so much faster, and it's so much easier. So that's kind of a big part of it, and I think that it also, okay, so how do you do that? How do you recruit, right? I think a lot of people in our industry, I don't know if you guys relate to this or not, at least in the past like 8 years, almost shy away from network marketing, like the stigma, right? Like our industry, and try to like cover it with rose-colored glasses of all the different things that we want it to be or that we do. But we really, really dove in with our team to the principles of network marketing, like network marketing giants of the past, right? And companies, and that comes down to books and personal development. So I know, like, Kyle, you've been so great about running book clubs with our teams, where we're teaching them from day one these principles of network marketing, truly, that make you successful. But that's never going to change. As much as the world changes and social and everything, those, I believe, I think you believe too, that those certain principles will never change to building a giant organization that's successful. And Alan, I love this too. So not only do we have them do books, maybe when they get started too, from time to time we've had them focus on, you know, some of our favorites are, you're going to start reading GoPro, you're going to start reading 45-second presentation, you're going to start reading Think and Grow Rich, that's our favorite, to start getting those principles ingrained. But confidence, how are we also going to get them to recruit and keep recruiting and keep this army growing? And you're not going to recruit if you're not confident. And confidence is going to come from, you know, confidence in the news thing, 1,000%. We're so blessed that we have the giant that we have behind us as this vehicle, but we've got to believe in ourselves. We have to be confident in what's in here and what we have and our products and our system and our team. And early on, Alan, you taught us, I mean, we picked this up. It's all about the definite main purpose statement for us. It's all about connecting with our dreams, our why, where we are going, why we are going there, why did we start this business, kind of stretching the definite main purpose statement. How many of you guys, does anyone in here use the definite main purpose statement? A lot of people. I mean, it takes you to a different level that you've never gone in your life and in your mind. And people coming into this business have never even been exposed to this stuff. This like blows their minds. But it gets them so freaking excited about where they're going that they're not afraid to take the action and recruit. Because I think that's the number one thing that holds them back from recruiting. It's fear. But you get them connected with this vision, like they get in action. They're sharing.
And Amanda Carr was up here getting a big, huge check also. And she had 2 minutes, like 2 minutes to say like something. And what I heard from her was self-confidence. Be confident. And you guys ever, Do we have some confident people in the crowd? You guys have confidence? I think this room has some confidence, right? Do you ever look at your team and you're just like, be confident, be confident, be more confident, right? Because you love them and you see what's in them and you care about them and you know what they should be able to do. You can't just shake it out of them, okay? Like, I tried, I got in trouble once, the whole thing. But the main purpose statement and self-confidence formula that are in the book Think and Grow Rich, that is a roadmap of here's how someone's done it in the past, and here's how we can teach it. And so that's something that would probably be a life hack for all of us in order to help people move towards that, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing I'll say is, and then you jump into that, is alignment. We've been so blessed. I mean, it's like Scott was saying, this certainly isn't about us. We've been blessed with the most unbelievable leaders. They say go out and find people better than you, and I feel like that's exactly what we did. Team leads, Kelly, Maggie, Wendy, you guys are all sitting here in this room, my parents, like, with us. They are so willing, the fact that they've been so willing to trust these men, to trust us, to follow us, to come together and to literally decide that a rising tide floats all ships. Having your team align and love and respect one another, even when you have these little differences, maybe on how you might do something, we come together in the mastermind, and the power behind that is what has given us the ability to keep our ship rolling. And I think that is like maybe one of the most invaluable things that you can have in this business. So
I was thinking about this as we were going to talk to a bunch of team leads that probably have bigger businesses than us or are better at the business than us. But what do we maybe do differently within recruiting? And I had a few thoughts. The number one thing was sense of urgency. That's so important in the business, like sense of urgency. When you look at the teams that are in this room, and I've heard the stories, they all are launching, right? We're not just going, we're not cruising, we're not humming along, right? We're launching, and we're like, let's go, you gotta get in now, or you're left behind, right? And it's like, come along with me, like, I'm going to the top. Are you coming, or are you falling behind? And so that sense of urgency, we have to instill that in people. And if you can start doing that within your teams, then they'll understand, and it'll start to snowball effect. Okay, the next thing Trish mentioned is recruiting up. Always recruiting someone better than you in the business, right? And that's the story of the business is don't go after, we call it low-hanging fruit, right? But a quick OMG post, who wants to join me in my business? Might attract a lot of people, but it might attract the wrong people. And so we always start with the question that Eileen Williams asked Jim Hedzicki, which is how they got Alan McGow, which is who would be the greatest person you know in this business? And if you can ask that question over and over, you're recruiting up, having fun doing it. And so, and then the third thing would be work on that confidence for them, but let them borrow your confidence. You're a leader. When you're a leader, you lead people, okay? You don't sit on the sideline. You don't just point it in, right? I hear this all the time. My team doesn't recruit. Anybody ever said that? Anybody ever heard a teammate say that? Right? And so it shouldn't be that. They don't need to recruit. You need to recruit with them. That's the goal, right? And if you have that confidence, not only in yourself, but you have belief in them. Those people that are in the business are asking themselves, the reason they don't recruit is because they say to themselves, what if this person across the table from me says no? What will happen to me if they say no? But I want to switch that question in their minds and say, what will happen to them if they say no? What would have happened to me and my wife if we said no?
such a scary thought. I mean, you guys asked yourselves that.
There's probably some photos back here of our family, but two of our children are adopted. And we tried that for 11 years, and we couldn't. And so we were opened up to adoption. And our two children are literally adopted from an agency that a team lead, Grace Delaney, founded. And she was inspired by and told to go for her dreams by Nathan Ricks.
By Nathan. We call them our Nathan babies, our Grace babies.
And so what would my life look like if my uplines or someone didn't believe in me enough to get me into this, I wouldn't be on this trip. We wouldn't have the lifestyle, and we wouldn't have our family that we have. So take it away from yourself, take that ego out of it, and start really thinking about other people. And when you do that at a really high level, you'll be able to recruit like crazy.
Yeah, we really feel like, this business is about first creating everything that you want in your life. We're talking about, right, the lifestyle, the freedom, the this, the that for our families, 1,000%, you guys. But I think that Nu Skin is the vehicle that's giving us all the ability, once we get there, to live our God-given purposes. You can't live your God-given purpose if you don't have the time freedom. You just can't. You will be too beaten down by the grind every single day, every hour of the day. But take it one step further than that, right? Like it's one thing for us to accomplish our God-given purpose, which we're still working on, but by doing what we're in this room, we're all doing with these organizations, we can help hundreds or thousands of people accomplish and live out their God-given purpose. I mean, imagine what the world would look like. And I know that sounds altruistic, but it's real. It's real, and all because of this business, Nu Skin, and this company, and all of you guys working for us so hard every day and fighting for us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.